Good evening and welcome to a summary of the news. Prime Minister Hani al-Mulki met at his office with Senate President Faisal al-Fayez, where they discussed ways to enhance cooperation between the government and the House to maintain the pace of comprehensive reforms in the kingdom. Al-Fayez affirmed the need to maintain close coordination between the two sides to better serve public interests. Daesh terrorist group claimed responsibility for suicide and car bomb blasts in a suburb in Damascus that left at least 20 people killed. State television showed debris, mangled cars and wrecked shops in a main commercial thoroughfare near the Sayyida Zainab shrine, where two suicide bombers blew themselves up and others detonated an explosives-laden car. State media said at least 8 people were killed, but the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the death toll has risen to at least 20 and the number was expected to rise. Elsewhere in Syria, U.S.-backed Syrian forces made new territorial gains against Daesh, moving closer to another major stronghold, the city of Al-Bab, northeast of Aleppo. The monitoring group, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, said the Syria Democratic Forces, SDF, which brings together Kurdish and Arab fighters, are now almost 17 kilometers from Al-Bab. The observatory said nearly 160 Daesh members have died in battles with the SDF. The SDF, supported by U.S.-led airstrikes and American Special Forces, launched an advance earlier this month to seize Daesh lost territory on the Syria-Turkey border and cut the self-declared caliphate off from the world. And in Iraq, Iraqi forces pushed on against Daesh inside a built-up district of Fallujah. The army's elite counter-terrorism service yesterday battled in the southern district of Al-Shuhada, where loud explosions and bursts of gunfire were reported. Al-Shuhada marks the first advance of the army inside Fallujah after 2 weeks of fighting on the outskirts to complete the encirclement of the city. The army started the offensive on the 23rd of May with the backing of Shiite militias and air support from the U.S.-led coalition. Fallujah has been a bastion of Daesh, who raised their flag there 2 years ago before sweeping much of Iraq's north and west. And in the latest in the U.S. presidential race, Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton is leading Republican Donald Trump by 11 points. According to a Reuters Ipsos poll, 46% of likely voters support Clinton, while 34.8% back Trump. Another 19.2% support neither candidate. Clinton this week defeated party rival Bernie Sanders in 4 of 6 nominating contests and won the endorsements of President Barack Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and other party leaders. And in the same week, Trump sparred with party leaders and struggled with questions about his now defunct Trump University. Both the Democratic and Republican parties hold conventions in July ahead of the November 8 election. Queen Elizabeth attended the traditional Trooping the Colour parade of soldiers in ceremonial uniforms in central London as part of a weekend of events to mark the official 90th birthday of the country's longest reigning monarch. It was a double celebration for the royals, with the occasion falling on the same day as the 95th birthday of Prince Philip, the Queen's husband of 68 years. To conclude the celebrations, the Queen hosted the Patrons' Lunch for 10,000 guests at the largest street party to be held on the Mall.
Thousands turn out in central London to wish Britain's Queen Elizabeth a happy 90th birthday. The Queen and other members of the royal family rode through London as part of a weekend of events.
Escorts for the colour will advance.
Over 1,400 troops, horses and musicians marched through the streets as part of the annual Trooping of the Colours. Boats were launched, jets flew over, and the royal family gathered on the balcony at Buckingham Palace, where a huge crowd gathered to sing to her. It was the first balcony appearance by 1-year-old Princess Charlotte, the daughter of Prince William and his wife Kate. The Queen is Britain's longest reigning monarch, having ruled the kingdom for 64 years. Her real birthday is in April, but the official celebration is timed in hope of fair weather, a custom that began in the 18th century. This weekend's celebrations continue on Sunday with a giant street party on the Mall, the Grand Avenue leading to Buckingham Palace. The Patrons' Lunch for 10,000 guests will be the largest street party ever held there.
A solar-powered airplane finished crossing the United States today, landing in New York City after flying over the Statue of Liberty during its historic bid to circle the globe. The Swiss team, flying Solar Impulse 2 in a campaign to build support for clean energy technologies, hopes eventually to complete its circumnavigation in Abu Dhabi, where the journey began in March last year. The propeller-driven Solar Impulse flies without a drop of fuel, and its 4 engines are powered solely by energy collected from more than 17,000 solar cells built into its wings. The carbon fiber plane, with a wingspan exceeding that of a Boeing 747 and the weight of a family car, can climb to 8,500 meters and cruise at 55 to 100 kilometers per hour.
Right turn out to the ramp. Thank you. 404. Main wheel touchdown. Car 99.
And finally, fair conditions prevail for the rest of tonight, with northwesterly moderate to fresh winds. Tomorrow, a slight rise in temperature is expected, but it remains cooler than seasonal average, with a high of 26 in Amman, but hot in the Jordan Valley and the Dead Sea area. The Gulf of Aqaba should expect normal summer conditions with a high of 34 degrees Celsius. And with this, we come to the end of this summary. Thank you for being with us and have a good night.